Do you even realize you just touched something people would kill for? The voice echoed behind her as she opened the sleek black bag. Inside wasn't just cash. It was a microchip worth billions, the key to a technology that could change the world, or bury her for good. She was just a 19-year-old waitress surviving on daily tips, but now she held something that made even billionaires afraid. And the only question that mattered was, would she give it back or use it to save the family hanging by a thread? Chicago's skyline glittered against the dusk, a mosaic of steel and ambition. Inside the Silver Crest, a luxury restaurant perched atop a skyscraper, 19-year-old Maya Brooks was a quiet whirlwind. Her black uniform hugged her frame, damp from the grind of a double shift, but her smile held steady, warm, unyielding, a lighthouse in the storm of wealth around her. Her blonde ponytail swayed as she weaved through tables, balancing trays of smoked salmon canapes and crystal flutes fizzing with Prosecco. Maya was no stranger to struggle. 4 years ago, her father's accident had shattered their world, leaving her to hold together a family on the edge. Her mother, Lena, fought a chronic heart condition that devoured their savings faster than Maya could earn. Her 12-year-old brother, Theo, filled notebooks with sci-fi stories, his imagination a luxury Maya couldn't afford to fuel. She worked 16-hour days, her tips a fragile lifeline, each dollar a day's rent, a prescription refill, a meal stretched to feed 3. She didn't complain. Complaints were for those with time to spare. Tonight the Silver Crest buzzed with its usual crowd, tech tycoons closing deals over $800, 0-cent steaks influencers snapping photos of gold-flecked desserts. Maya moved among them, invisible yet essential, her kindness a quiet rebellion against their excess. She cleared plates, refilled glasses, and pocketed tips with a soft thank you, her mind already calculating how far each bill would stretch. Then he walked in, a man who seemed to pull the room's gravity toward him. Tall, broad-shouldered, his navy suit was razor-sharp, silver cufflinks catching the chandelier's light. His slate-blue eyes, restless, scanned the space like he was dodging a shadow. He claimed table 9, his movements clipped, and barked an order. Espresso. Ribeye. Rare. Quick. Maya nodded, her pen scratching the pad, but he barely glanced at her, his fingers tapping an impatient rhythm. He slid a stack of bills across the table, far more than the meal's cost, and muttered, "Keep it." Before she could respond, he was gone, the glass door whispering shut behind him. She frowned, her gaze lingering on the bills. They were crisp, almost careless, but something else caught her eye. A sleek black leather bag tucked beneath the chair, half hidden by the tablecloth's silk drape. Her breath hitched. She crouched, her fingers brushing the cool leather. It was heavy, its zipper glinting like a warning. She scanned the room, expecting him to storm back, but the diners chattered on, oblivious. Maya's pulse raced. She straightened, clutching the bag to her chest, and bolted for the entrance, her sneakers squeaking on the polished floor. Outside, Chicago's wind whipped her face, the city a blur of honks and neon. The man was gone, swallowed by the night. What would you do with a stranger's bag, knowing it could hold answers, or ruin? Backlink side. Maya slipped the bag behind the hostess stand, her mind a tangle of questions. The restaurant's manager, Mr. Kessler, was a vulture in a tailored blazer, his eyes always hunting for mistakes. If she told him about the bag, he'd twist it into an accusation. She'd seen him fire a busboy for misplacing a wine glass. No, she'd figure this out herself. Her shift dragged on, each clink of cutlery a reminder of the bag's presence. She served a table of hedge fund bros, their laughter grating, then a couple whispering over a proposal, their diamond ring a taunt. All the while the bag waited, a shadow in her periphery. When 1:00 a.m. hit, she grabbed her worn backpack, tucked the bag inside, and stepped into the cold. The Elra was near empty, its fluorescent lights buzzing like a bad omen. Maya sat alone, the bag on her lap, its weight pressing into her thighs. She traced the zipper with her thumb, her heart thudding. What was she doing? She should have left it at the restaurant, let it be someone else's problem. but curiosity or desperation clawed at her, relentless. At home, in the cramped Rogers Park apartment that smelled of coffee and worry, Maya tiptoed past her mother's room. Lena's breathing was uneven, a pill bottle glinting on the nightstand. Theo was sprawled on the couch, his notebook open to a sketch of a spaceship soaring through a nebula. Maya locked herself in the bathroom, the only place she could think without the world pressing in. She set the bag on the sink, her hands trembling. This was wrong. She should take it to the police or back to the Silver Crest. But her fingers moved before her mind could stop them, unzipping the bag just a fraction. Her breath caught. Cash, bundles of it, neatly banded, each topped with a $100 0-cent bill. She zipped it shut, her heart hammering. She tried again, slower, and saw more. Documents, contracts, property deeds, a small velvet box. Her fingers brushed the cash and she yanked her hand back as if burned. 10 bundles, $100, 0 cents. More money than she'd see in a decade. Maya sank to the floor, the bag beside her. That money could change everything. Rent paid for years, Lena's surgeries covered, Theo's school fees, new sneakers, a laptop for his stories. She squeezed her eyes shut, picturing her father's face, his crooked smile, his voice steady. Do what's right, Maya, even when it hurts. But right didn't pay for pacemakers or keep the heat on. She shoved the bag under her bed, its shadow a silent scream in the dark. Sleep was a ghost that night. Morning brought no clarity. Maya returned to the Silver Crest, her eyes scanning every face that crossed the threshold. The man didn't come. She worked her shift on autopilot, her smile a mask, her thoughts circling the bag like vultures. What if he never returned? What if the bag was a test or a trap? Days bled into a week, then 2. Maya's routine was a grind, double shifts, hospital visits, Theo's chatter about alien invasions and laser swords. She paid the rent with her tips, bought generics at the pharmacy, and stretched every meal to feed 3. Through it all, she carried her kindness like a torch, lighting the way for others even when her own path dimmed. But the bag was a crack in her resolve, whispering possibilities she couldn't ignore. She checked it nightly, half expecting it to vanish, but it stayed there, a taunting reminder of her choice. She didn't touch the money again, but she couldn't forget it either. It was a siren call, promising freedom at a price she wasn't sure she could pay. One afternoon, while grabbing groceries at a corner store, Maya froze. There he was, the man stepping out of a matte black SUV across the street. His suit was charcoal now, but his hurried stride was unmistakable. Her basket hit the floor, cans rolling, and she ran, ignoring the clerk's shout. She weaved through pedestrians, her heart in her throat. But by the time she reached the spot, he was gone, his SUV vanishing down Michigan Avenue. Maya's eyes caught the license plate, 8 Horizon 88. She scribbled it on her wrist, ink smudging with sweat. Back home, she called her friend Riley, whose cousin Owen was a cop with the seat. Riley, I need a favor, Maya said, her voice low. Can Owen trace a license plate? It's important. Riley's pause was heavy. Maya, what's up? You sound weird. I'm fine. I just found something. I need to return it. Please. 2 days later, Riley called back. Maya, that SUV belongs to Julian West, the Julian West. Billionaire, owns half the city's real estate, funds hospitals and startups. Owen says he's a good guy, but why do you need his address? Maya's throat tightened. The billionaire, that explained the cash, the deeds, the bag's impossible weight. I found something of his, she said, her voice steady. Thanks, Riley. The address was a penthouse in the Gold Coast, a world away from her flickering lights and leaky pipes. Maya resolved to go tomorrow, to end this before the bag's whispers grew louder. But doubt lingered, sharp as a knife. What would you do if the world dangles salvation in front of you, daring you to take it? Maya woke late, her phone dead on the counter, no time to charge it. She grabbed the bag, her stomach churning, and caught a bus to the Gold Coast. The city faded into tree-lined streets and limestone facades, each one a reminder of how small her world was. Julian West's penthouse was a glass tower piercing the sky, its doorman eyeing her like she'd wandered into the wrong universe. She approached the lobby, the bag clutched like a lifeline. A security guard in a crisp suit sized up her faded hoodie and jeans. "Name and purpose?" "Maya Brooks. I'm here to return something to Mr. West." The guard's brow creased. He spoke into an earpiece, his gaze never leaving her. Minutes dragged, the lobby's air-conditioned chill seeping into her bones. She shifted her weight, the bag zipper digging into her palm. Finally, the guard nodded, and an elevator whisked her to the 60th floor, where a private foyer awaited. But the story wasn't so simple. Unbeknownst to Maya, the bag held more than cash and deeds. Tucked in a hidden pocket was a microchip, a digital vault containing blueprints for a renewable energy project that could revolutionize West's empire. It was worth billions, and its loss could derail years of innovation. Julian hadn't noticed its absence yet, but its discovery by the wrong person would be catastrophic. Across town, Julian stormed into the Silver Crest, his jaw tight, his eyes scanning the dining room like a hawk's. He'd realized the bag was missing days ago, but a crisis in San Francisco had kept him tethered to boardrooms and red-eye flights. Today, he carved out time to hunt it down. "Where's the girl?" he asked Kessler, his voice low but edged with steel. Kessler blinked, adjusting his cufflinks. "Which girl, sir?" "The waitress, blonde, young. She served me 2 weeks ago." "Maya." Kessler's brow furrowed. "She's off today. Why?" Julian's eyes narrowed. "I left a bag here, black leather, valuable, it's gone." Kessler's face paled. "Sir, no one reported a bag. I'd know if—" "Find out," Julian cut in. "Now!" Kessler scurried off, barking orders at the staff. Julian stood by table 9, his mind replaying that night. His rush to catch a flight, the waitress's quiet efficiency. She'd been the last one near the table. The cash was pocket change to him, a blip in his fortune, but the deeds and the microchip he hadn't yet checked were the keys to a legacy he'd spent a decade building. If they were lost, or worse, in the wrong hands, suspicion coiled in his chest, cold and sharp. He'd built his empire on instinct, but he wasn't blind. People changed when money was involved, even soft-spoken girls with steady smiles. He was about to leave when his phone buzzed. His security team. "Sir, there's a girl at the penthouse. Says she has your bag." Julian froze, his pulse spiking. "Keep her there. I'm coming." Maya stood in the penthouse foyer, her sneakers absurdly loud on the ebony floor. The space was a shrine to wealth, floor-to-ceiling windows framing Lake Michigan, art that screamed millions, a chandelier dripping crystals like frozen tears. The bag felt like a bomb in her hands, its contents ticking in her mind. Footsteps echoed and Julian West appeared, his presence filling the room like a storm. His eyes locked onto the bag, then her face, searching for cracks. "You're the waitress." Maya nodded, holding out the bag, her fingers trembling. "This is yours. You left it at the restaurant. I've been trying to find you." He took it, his touch deliberate, and unzipped it just enough to confirm its contents. The deeds were there, untouched. The cash, too. His shoulders relaxed, but his gaze stayed sharp. Then he froze, his fingers probing a hidden pocket. The microchip. It wasn't there. His eyes flicked to Maya, suspicion flaring anew. "You looked inside," he said, his voice a blade. Her cheeks burned. "I had to. I was trying to find a way to contact you. There was no ID, no—" "There was something else in here," he cut in, his tone icy. "A chip. Where is it?" Maya's heart sank. "A chip? I didn't see anything like that. I swear I only saw the cash and papers." Julian's jaw tightened. The microchip was everything, blueprints, patents, a future that could power cities. He studied her wide eyes, her trembling hands. She seemed honest. But he'd been burned before. "You expect me to believe you found a bag with $100,000 0 cents and didn't take anything?" The accusation stung, but Maya held his gaze. "I don't expect you to believe me. I just did what was right. If there was a chip, it's still in there, or it wasn't when I found it." Julian hesitated, torn between doubt and the flicker of truth in her voice. He rifled through the bag again, his fingers probing every seam. Nothing. His mind raced. Had he misplaced it? Had someone else gotten into the bag before her? He needed answers. But he also saw her. A girl who'd brought back a fortune when she could have vanished with it. "I was wrong to assume," he said finally, his voice softer but still guarded. "But I need that chip if you know anything." "I don't," Maya said, her voice firm. "But I'll help you find it if it's at the restaurant. I'll check every inch." He nodded, a grudging respect in his eyes. "What's your name?" "Maya." "Maya," he repeated, "I owe you for this. The bag, it's more than money, it's a future I've been building." She nodded, stepping back. "I should go." "Wait," his voice stopped her. "I want to offer you something. A job at my company. You're honest, hard-working. I need people like you." Maya's breath caught. A job like that could mean stability, a future. But she shook her head. "Thank you, but my family needs me where I am." Julian's brow furrowed. Then he reached into the bag, pulling out a folder. "This is yours." He handed her a property deed. A condo in Lincoln Park, fully paid, worth more than she could fathom. Her hands shook as she read it. "No, I can't." "You can," he said, his tone final. "This isn't charity, it's what you've earned." Tears spilled down Maya's cheeks, hot and unstoppable. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Find that chip," Julian said, a hint of urgency returning, "and keep being you." Maya returned home, the deed, a fragile promise, in her hands. She told Lena and Theo everything, her words tumbling out between sobs and laughter. Lena's eyes shone with pride, her frail hands squeezing Maya's. Theo whooped, scribbling a new story that night, one with Maya as a galactic hero. But the microchip haunted her. She hadn't seen it, but Julian's doubt lingered, a splinter in her mind. The condo was theirs. A bright space with hardwood floors and no eviction notices. Maya moved them in, her heart full but heavy with change. She kept her job at the Silvercrest, not out of necessity, but because it was hers. A place where her kindness mattered, where she could serve and smile and be Maya. But the restaurant held secrets. Maya began to notice things. Kessler's nervous tics, a line cook named Derek who lingered too long near the lockers, a tension among the staff she hadn't clocked before. She searched Table 9's corner, the storage room, even the dumpster. But the chip was gone. Her gut whispered, it wasn't an accident. One night after closing, Maya caught Derek slipping something into his jacket near the back exit. She confronted him, her voice low. "What was that?" He flinched, his grin too slick. "Nothing, Maya. Just my keys." She didn't buy it. The next day, she followed him after his shift, her heart pounding. He met a woman in a dive bar, a stranger in a leather coat, her face sharp. Maya hid, her breath shallow, and heard fragments. Chip secure, West Project, 7 figures. Her blood ran cold. Derek had the chip, or knew who did. She needed proof, but she also needed Julian to trust her. She called Riley again, asking Owen to dig into Derek's connections. Owen was skeptical but agreed, sensing Maya's urgency. Days later, Owen called back. "Maya, Derek's been talking to a fixer named Mara, a pro, tied to corporate theft. If she's got something of West's, it's bad news." Maya's resolve hardened. She told Julian everything, meeting him at a diner far from the restaurant's eyes. He listened, his face unreadable, then nodded. "I'll handle it. But you're in deep now, Maya. Watch your back." Julian's team moved fast. With Owen's help, they tracked Maya to a storage unit in Pilsen, recovering the microchip before it could be sold to a rival energy firm. Derek was fired, his betrayal a scar on the Silver Crest. The project was saved, Julian's vision intact. But Maya's role didn't go unnoticed. Julian called her to his office, a sleek space overlooking the loop. "You didn't just return a bag," he said, his voice steady. "You saved something bigger. I misjudged you, and I'm sorry." Maya smiled faintly. "I just did what felt right." He leaned forward, his eyes intense. "I'm offering you more than a job now, a scholarship, for you or Theo, mentorship, a chance to build something of your own this time." Maya didn't refuse outright. "I'll think about it," she said, her voice soft but sure. He handed her another folder, not a deed but a trust. "This is for your mother's care, top doctors, no limits." Tears welled, but Maya held them back. "Why?" "Because you reminded me what matters," Julian said. "Not power, not deals. People." 3 years later, Maya stood in her condo's kitchen, sunlight streaming through the windows. Theo was at a writing camp, his stories now published in a youth anthology. Lena was stronger, her heart steady, her laughter a melody Maya cherished. Maya had started community college, culinary arts, a seed for a food truck she dreamed of launching. The Silver Crest was still her anchor, but she was building wings. Julian became a mentor, not a savior. He funded Theo's camp, ensured Lena's care, and taught Maya the ropes of entrepreneurship. At a charity gala, he introduced her as a partner in a new venture, a mobile kitchen feeding Chicago's homeless. Her vision brought to life with his backing. As they stood on a rooftop, the city sparkling below, Julian raised a glass. Two choices. Maya clinked hers against it. To truth. The question that once haunted her, what would you do if the world tested your heart again, had an answer etched in her soul. She'd choose honesty, not because it was noble, but because it was power. It had given her a home, a family, a future. The bag was a memory, its shadow gone, but its lesson was her foundation. Maya's life wasn't flawless. Bills still came, dreams still demanded sweat, but she faced them with a fire no one could dim. She'd answered the world's dare, and in doing so, she'd built a legacy not of wealth, but of heart. Her food truck, Brooks's Hope, rolled out that spring, serving meals and kindness in equal measure. And every night, as she locked up, she smiled, knowing she'd chosen the path that made her whole. Hit like button and subscribe for more stories that spark your soul and challenge your heart. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that integrity is strength. What would you have done with that bag? Drop your thoughts below. I'm all ears.